This fight just got leaked. Now it's causing wars. My dude ain't defend, but he still open doors. Now at 205, my nigga got some chores. He's finna hunt his prey. That's why they call him Boars. Yeah! Yeah! Dude, I'm happy for this fight. I don't care what anyone says, man. Dude, it's so funny because Twitter's so mixed. Because 1 second, dude, Hamza he's not active. We don't want an active champion. And on paper, he's not going to defend against Nasruddin Imavov, which I feel bad for Nasruddin. Let me just say this. Nasruddin definitely deserves his opportunity. But this fight confirms two things. One, that Khamzat Chimaev is going to fight Jiri Prochazka for the belt. And then two, Alex Perez is going to fight Cyril Gane for the belt. So we have two instances where people are champion, they're moving up in a weight class, guys. It really makes you realize that Islam and Ilya is not out of the picture forever. I used to think that fight might be dead, but I don't know anymore. Now, this fight's interesting, man, for a lot of reasons, and it really has Twitter mixed. I see some people like, dude, this is the worst thing ever happened. Then there's people like me who's ecstatic because it's a fun fight, and we know Khamzat Chimaev is going to become double champ. Let's say it how we know it. Like, we know what this matchup is. We know Jiri Prochazka isn't that big of a 205er. He was considering coming down to 185 very soon, but Hamza says, nah, stay there, brother. I'll come up to you. You get comfortable. You fight in your natural weight. I'll come up to you, and brother, we can fight. You know, and I do think this is an interesting matchup for many reasons, man. But I want to like go through opinions, guys, because I hear people talking, you know, this guy's saying Khamzat Chimaev is moving up to fight Jiri Prochazka at light heavyweight. Hamza has 0 title defenses in middleweight and is being rewarded heavily for nothing. This fight is a joke. So this guy's clearly passionate about, yeah, dude, this can't be the case, man. I don't understand. No, I literally don't understand why people are that mad, bro. Like, Ilya's trying to go up and fight Islam, and everyone's like encouraging it. Like, yeah, this should happen. It should happen. Ilya should go up and fight Islam. He has so much title defenses at 155. You know, he defended against Armin and Pat. He didn't defend, but everyone's pushing for Ilya to fight Islam. Why? Because they want to see it because it's a mega fight. This is also a mega fight. You know, stylistically, you can't say Yuri's boring. They're going to try to act like Hamza. Dude, Hamza's always in boring fights because he had one fight that went the distance, and that's fucking boring. That one boring fight makes me realize he's a boring fighter, all right? You know, they know entertainment-wise, this is going to be a good fight, and probably a quick one. That's probably why they hate it. My thing is, I just don't understand the double standards some people are held to. Even, Ilia Topuria, like, he had a defense at featherweight, I remember, but he moved up right after that, like when there was a clear number one contender. So Hamza Chimaev wanting to go up, he's been saying he wants to go up. You know, people are talking about Nasruddin Imavov. I need to ask you guys something, because the difference is Ilia Topuria wants to have 0 title defense at lightweight and go up to fight Islam. But there's someone like Arman Sarukian. Why is Arman Sarukian and Ilia Topuria engaging fight? Because we believe that Arman Sarukian is the only person with real weapons to beat him in that weight class. Now, if we look at 185, now people, dude, Imavov is known for crazy cardio and just great takedown defense. Yeah, he got took down by Sean Strickland, but Sean Strickland's a better offensive wrestler than Hamza. So we know what's going to happen if Hamza fights Imavov. We know, and you could try to be like, nah, I think Imavov's a better wrestler than you know, we could try to act, we could play that game. But deep down, everyone knows, you know, Hamzat's in a place at 185 that whether you want to admit it or not, he's not losing. He nearly killed DDP in there for 5 rounds straight. You know, like he 50-45 and destroyed him every way. And then DDP was how good before that beating how much people? We know Strickland, if he wins, is nothing. We know Fluffy's not even going to beat Strickland tomorrow. We could get that straight. This is going to be posted before tomorrow. I'm telling you guys that now. Everyone's doubting me, but they're going to come back and realize I'm right. That's why I'm talking this confidently before that fight even happened. I know Strickland's going to beat him. So people say Fluffy's a hard matchup. Okay, after Fluffy loses to Strickland, you're going to change your mind. Yeah, but RDR, well, that used to be the case. And so we know at 185, Hamza has no threat. So comments like this, like they're trying to be like, he doesn't deserve it. He's scared of Imavov. They're ducking Imavov. Imavov is the hardest style. Imavov nearly dies in there. Imavov might nearly die in there against Hamza. Like, little bit skinny guy, wrestled and controlled by Strickland. He's not going to do shit against him. So as much as people want to act like it, this fight is the most fun fight for Khamzat Chimaev. Because it's like Hamza's going up in a weight, you know, and I feel like, what if he can't take someone like Yuri down, who's very explosive, very, like, forward? You know, he has a better chance of doing what Dricus Du Plessis wanted to do. Now, before the Dricus fight, I knew Hamza was going to destroy him and smoke him for 5 rounds straight. I was already telling people that. People just thought I was just being delusional because they're salty. But with this fight is, I know Yuri's not the greatest wrestler, but Jiri has more size on him, at least. That's beneficial. You know what, actually? I don't know. Because I heard Jiri, like, actually weighs around, like, smaller than people like Dricus. I could be wrong, like, on Fight Night. That's why he wants to go down to 185. But either way, his defensive wrestling and his wrestling in general is better than Dricus Duplessis. Dricus Duplessis' defensive wrestling was one of the worst things I've ever seen. You know, Izzy was wizarding and putting him on. Like, there's so much people who were taking down Dricus and out grappling him. So I wasn't really concerned too much about that. Whereas Jiri, like, I've seen Jiri use offensive and defensive wrestling. He's not horrible. Of course, he's not on Hamza's level. But I feel like what we like about this is that this is a step up. We've seen Jiri Prochazka in there with some great light heavyweights, and he's won against some good light heavyweights. You know, so I feel like if Hamza goes in there and puts a statement on, Hamza doesn't even need to defend a light heavyweight too. I said it, you know. Brother, go up to heavyweight and fight the winner of Cyril Gane, Alex Pereira, which I know is going to happen now. And the reason I'm like very confident in that happening, even though it hasn't got broken yet, this guy who leaked it, or like this guy who assumed that it's going to happen for 328, it's the same guy who also talked about how he thinks that, as you can see right here, he thought that Joshua Van versus Tyra was going to happen for the flyweight belt. Now, that tweet was posted I think 2 days ago, the Tyra versus Van thing, and it ended up happening. He made a mistake here, though. He did say that he thinks Yuri's going to fight Carlos Ulrich for a vacant belt, which on paper makes the most sense, but no one saw this coming. But other than that, this guy's been pretty accurate. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane, I really have high hopes that happens. The Joshua Van versus Tyra, that's happened. This guy's like a media guy, a Brazilian media guy. So the fact that this came out the blue, I think that kind of solidifies that Alex Pereira and Cyril Gane are going to fight for a belt, because this is for a title. We know this is for a title. We know it's a vacant title. So we know Alex Pereira is going up, and we know Tom Aspinall is out with eye injury. So this confirms 2 huge fights, guys. We have Alex Pereira fighting. Oh my God, we have Alex Pereira fighting Cyril Gane, which just stylistically in itself is fun too, man. Like I like that fight because I feel like it's 2 of the best going at it, guys. And I feel like this could open up the first triple champ in UFC history. I do think Alex Pereira has what it takes to actually beat Cyril Gane. I do. I think he's objectively a better striker. I do think the size is interesting to look at in a fight like this. But I also think that if Alex Pereira becomes the first triple champ, we could get 2 triple champs within the span of a year. Because think about this. If Khamzat Chimaev smokes Jiri the way I think he very much could, not saying Jiri's a walk in the park, but if he smokes him, he could go up and fight Alex Pereira. And they can't really say much about that, can they? He could go up and fight Alex Pereira and no one can really cope about it, because if he smokes Jiri Prochazka in quick fashion like he's nothing, he doesn't really have to sit there and defend. I do understand the whole narrative of, we got to normalize defending. But the thing about this, at 185, I don't think it's as big as a deal as people are trying to make it out to be, because it's not like Imavov and all these other guys have a great chance to beat Hamza. It's not like it's a Ilya Taporia, Armin Sarukian situation where the guy damn near like stylistically matches up perfect for you. There's no great wrestler at middleweight, you know. They thought it was RDR. He got exposed. They're thinking it's Fluffy. Fluffy's getting exposed tomorrow. You know, so time will have to tell. And even if Fluffy wins, he still gets smoked by Hamza. But I'm glad that Strickland's going to beat him, because it's going to just be funny. But yeah, Khamzat Chimaev, man, like he's just on a different level than these other 185ers. So him challenging himself, people could act like he's scared of him. Mava would smoke him. But the truth of the matter is, no 185ers do anything. Even my boy Izzy, I love him. I just don't see him doing good against my boy Mava. And actually, speaking of that, I made this tweet. It was pissing some people off a little bit. Guys, with the win, we're back in the title picture. We beat Piper, brother. Vacant belt ours. Jokes aside, I obviously made this tweet just because, you know, I love my boy Izzy. But UFC's in a weird spot. People are saying DDP deserves to get a vacant title shot no matter what, which I don't hate. Like, the way he lost was pretty embarrassing. I don't think that makes anyone deserving of something if you lose that bad, to be fair. But I will say that, like, if Izzy has a statement win against Piper, smokes him, that's interesting. You know, maybe DDP rematch. Izzy versus DDP was a close fight, man. So Izzy could be back in the title picture, man. Like, and the thing is, if Strickland beats Fluffy, brother, Strickland versus Izzy rematch, and then maybe DDP versus like Imavov or something for the undisputed belt. I like that. Matter of fact, if Izzy beats Piper and when Strickland beats Fluffy, because I know Strickland's going to be Fluffy, put Izzy versus Strickland, and while doing that with DDP versus Imavov, then we set up another thing. You know, Paramount cares about notoriety, popularity. Izzy is very much in the title talks, like suddenly. He's back in that title picture. I never thought we'll see that day, but honestly, this vacant title did more harm than good for the division. I think Hamza would have smoked all these other 185ers. So it gives people like Izzy, like Strickland, like Imava, like DDP, an actual chance to hold the title. Imava is static. Imava's doing cartwheels somewhere, trust me, because he understands stylistically he matches up better with a DDP than he does a Khamzat Chimaev, you know. And that's still a hard fight for Imava. But that being said, like, Everyone's back in the title picture. Izzy was smoking him out for the eye poke. Izzy was smoking Najardine for the eye poke, man. But now we got all this circulating, man. So I think Hamza going up to Jiri is the best thing that could have happened. There's some people salty. Brother, I'm not salty. I'm handsome, strong, independent guy. I look good every day. I look strong. This is what I think about this. But let me know what you guys think about this. I just had to get a video out on this. You know, maybe I'll do an in-depth breakdown when like they actually announce the fights. But for now, I just think Khamzat Chimaev shook up the MMA world in the best way possible. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's it for me. God bless. 2, 3, 4.